All right. All right. All right. Welcome to another edition of Neo News Network. So, hey, it's been a little while, so I'm glad to be back, but I just want to jump right into it. So, we all know the left is super violent. That's not really shocking, but just looking at the last 3 months, they have really outdone themselves. Even for the normally violent left, you almost have to go back to the 70s to have a 3 month period of extreme violence like we've just had. So, let me just tell you what's going on. Then I have a question for you. Then I do, just because I mentioned it in the title, I do have a big announcement that I want to make. So I'll tell you about that at the end. Not so much because it's some sort of super tease, but just because, well, yeah, I guess it is. I'm saving the best for last. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. So over the last 3 months, the setup to my question, over the last 3 months, there have been a whole bunch of these super violent left-wing things. Of course, the biggest or the most recent is just over this weekend. A left-wing protester took a bunch of Molotov cocktails and went and tried to set 8 elderly Jewish people on fire with those because they were somehow at some event some outdoor event trying to bring awareness to the fact that there are still hostages held by the terror group Hamas in Israel. So for that crime, left-wing protester tried to set 8 elderly people on fire, one of whom was an 88-year-old Holocaust survivor. Very nice, right? Classy. And then just going back a couple weeks, or maybe even less, a different left-wing protester shot and killed a couple. I guess he was a German guy, German citizen, but also Israeli citizen. And then she was an American citizen, and they both worked for the Israeli embassy. He was Christian, she was Jewish. They were set to be engaged. They were planning to get engaged. So anyway, but instead of a life ahead of them, this left-wing protester just shot them and killed them. After he shot and killed them, he chanted the favorite left-wing chant, free Palestine. He did. So then, not as bad, but just sort of showing where, another example of recent, this was about a month ago or less, actually about 3 weeks ago, there was a Christian worship event. They had like this Christian event in a public park, a bunch of Antifa affiliated people and protesters that call themselves part of the LGBTQ plus community decided just to harass these people for sharing their Christian faith in a public park. So always the classy ones, the left, they took water balloons filled with urine and threw them at the people. But then that wasn't enough. They physically attacked them. There were 20 arrests by the Seattle Police Department. Now, the mayor of Seattle put out a statement condemning, no, not condemning the Christians, condemning, or sorry, not condemning the attackers. He condemned the Christians because I guess he didn't think they were tolerant enough. Really. So there have been 20 arrests. I would imagine, since the DA there is a left-wing DA, that none of these people will be penalized or punished in any way for their crimes. In Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, a different left-wing protester set the governor's mansion on fire. He did it in the middle of the night. He did it while the governor and his wife and their children were in the mansion. That's where they live. There was a huge fire. They did get out in time. They did survive. He was caught. But once again, another left-wing protester just completely happy to kill a family for his political beliefs. So that's where they're at. And then last but not, maybe least, and also last, but also like pretty serious level of violence in Montgomery, Alabama, an Antifa supporter. And I say Antifa, that's not me. He self-describes as a member of Antifa. A self-described member of Antifa detonated a nail bomb outside of an office and outside the office of Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall. So really just the question is for you guys, please leave in the comments. I wonder, these stories have been reported on, but there's no calls to ban guns. There's no calls to silence the dangerous rhetoric of the left. But yeah, I do wonder. So here's the question. I wonder what kind of national conversation the legacy media would call for if these, if similar attacks of these were carried out by right-wing protesters, right-wing attackers. All right. So yeah, that's the question of the day. Please leave your answer in the comments. Leave your thoughts. Like the channel, subscribe, all that. But here's the big announcement, and I hope you guys will be excited by this. I'm a fan of podcast, or not podcast. I guess it's like a YouTube channel called Two Way. It's this guy Mark Halperin. He brings in experts and they talk about political stuff, and then regular people can just go into the Zoom where this takes place, and then regular people can also join in on the conversation. The whole idea is that it's two-way, so like the audience communicates and then the host communicates back to the audience. Now in actual practice, there's dozens or hundreds of people that want to talk and only a few ever get through. So and I always would sit in that little queue hoping to get on, hoping they would pick me, raising my little digital hand, and they never did. So rather than fix that problem, I was like, you know what? I should just, I'm no Mark Halperin, but I could talk about political issues, and anybody that wants to, I could just try to just speed through and get everybody on, or at least a ton of people on. So I'm going to start my own little thing. Not quite sure how to do it. I think I can do it through a Zoom, but basically I'm going to try to figure it out over the next day or two. And then hopefully this week we will have some real two-way conversations, kind of in the style of like talk radio, but even better than talk radio, because talk radio, same thing. I used to listen to Rush Limbaugh. I'd always call. I could never get through. So rather than just get 2 or 3 callers, 2 or 3 listeners, 2 or 3 viewers, we're going to try. I'm going to try this. So really, I'm sort of creating for you guys. Not that I'm some saint or something, but I'm sort of creating for you guys, or trying to create what I wanted and just did not for myself. Because I like to talk and share my opinions, and I have thoughts, and I'm passionate about it. So I'm trying to create that for you guys. So anyway, if anyone has any expertise in this, by all means, let me know. But either way, that will be coming in this week. I will keep you updated. Stay tuned. Like, comment, and subscribe. This is Neil News Network. Good day.